Murder. It's one of the most disturbing acts a human can commit. But what happens when a killer goes unpunished and a case remains unsolved for decades or even centuries? These chilling mysteries leave us haunted, questioning what truly happened, and if the perpetrator is still out there. Today, we dive into some of the most chilling, unsolved murders in history. Cases so mysterious, so gruesome, that they continue to baffle investigators to this day. Are you ready to journey into the dark side of history? Brace yourself as we unravel these chilling mysteries that may never be solved. Our first case takes us deep into the shadowy streets of 1940s Los Angeles, where the city's glamorous facade often masked a world of crime and corruption. It was here that one of the most infamous, unsolved murders in American history took place, the Black Dahlia. On the cold morning of January 15, 1947, a passerby made a gruesome discovery in an empty lot. The body of 22-year-old Elizabeth Short lay there, leaving the public and investigators equally shocked. Her remains were found in a deeply disturbing condition, cleanly divided into two parts, with precision that suggested the work of someone highly skilled. Elizabeth had come to Los Angeles with hopes of breaking into the film industry. However, instead of fame, she became a symbol of Hollywood's dark side. Nicknamed the Black Dahlia by the press for her striking looks and fondness for black clothing, her unsolved murder captivated the nation. Newspapers latched onto the tragedy, painting sensational stories that only added to the mystery. Police pursued hundreds of leads and interrogated numerous suspects, but every promising thread unraveled. Despite the efforts of seasoned detectives, the case grew colder as time passed. Elizabeth Short, like many young women of her time, arrived in Los Angeles with dreams of stardom, hoping to break into the glamorous world of Hollywood. She worked as a waitress and lived a transient lifestyle, moving from place to place, often depending on friends, acquaintances, and admirers for support. Elizabeth was known for her striking beauty, dark curly hair, and a mysterious allure that drew attention wherever she went. Her fondness for wearing black outfits earned her the nickname the Black Dalia long before her death, and she was often seen at clubs and parties, mingling with hopeful actors, filmmakers, and those on the fringes of the industry. But Elizabeth's Hollywood dream was never realized. Instead of fame, she became the tragic face of one of America's most infamous unsolved cases. On the morning of January 15, 1947, her body was discovered in a vacant lot in the Leimert Park neighborhood of Los Angeles. The discovery shocked even the most seasoned police officers. Elizabeth's body had been grotesquely disfigured, severed at the waist, with no trace of blood at the scene, suggesting she had been harmed elsewhere. The perpetrator had posed her body in a deliberate, almost taunting way, her arms stretched above her head, and her face was slashed from ear to ear in a chilling Glasgow smile. The media quickly sensationalized her passing, spinning lurid tales of a young starlet who had fallen victim to Hollywood's seedy underbelly. The case drew nationwide attention, and the LAPD launched one of the largest investigations in its history. Over 150 suspects were interviewed, including doctors, actors, and criminals. One suspect, Dr. George Hodel, was considered a prime suspect years later after his own son, a retired LAPD detective, claimed he had found evidence implicating his father in the case. But despite these leads, every promising thread unraveled, and the investigation grew colder as time passed. The mystery of who ended Elizabeth Short's life remains unresolved to this day. Theories abound, with some suggesting it was a crime of passion, while others believe it was the work of a calculating psychopath. But the Black Dahlia remains frozen in time, a chilling symbol of the darker side of Hollywood's golden age. The HinterK murders, a chilling case that continues to haunt Germany, began in the small, isolated farmstead of HinterK, located near the village of Weidhofen in Bavaria. In March 1922, the Gruber family, consisting of Andreas, his wife Cecilia, their daughter Victoria, and her 2 children, were found brutally attacked in their home. The gruesome scene revealed that the entire family had been taken from their lives in a shocking act of violence, with no apparent motive or clear suspect. Before the horrific event, eerie signs hinted at trouble on the farm. Andreas Gruber reported strange occurrences, including mysterious footprints leading to the farmhouse and unusual noises emanating from the attic. Despite these unsettling events, the family remained oblivious to the impending danger. On the night of the murders, it is believed that the assailant, having stalked the family, entered the home and began the brutal act. The family's bodies were discovered several days later, hidden under hay in the barn, a grim tableau of what had occurred. The investigation that followed was extensive, but ultimately fruitless. Local police interviewed numerous suspects, but each lead fizzled out without results. The case drew significant media attention, captivating the public's imagination and raising numerous theories about who could commit such a heinous act. Some believed it could have been a revenge killing, while others speculated about the possibility of a transient criminal. Yet the identity of the perpetrator remained shrouded in mystery. Adding to the intrigue, many locals claimed to have seen a stranger lurking around the farm in the days leading up to the murders. Whispers of ghostly apparitions and supernatural elements surrounded the case, fueling speculation that the farm was cursed. Despite the mounting evidence and public interest, the police were unable to solve the case, and it grew colder with time. Decades later, the HinterK murders remain one of Germany's most perplexing unsolved crimes. Books, documentaries, and even fictional adaptations have explored the case, delving into the possibilities of what transpired that fateful night. The chilling aura of the farm, combined with the unanswered questions surrounding the murders, continues to fascinate and terrify those who hear the story. Today, HinterK serves as a haunting reminder of the fragility of life and the darkness that can exist even in the most serene settings, leaving a permanent mark on the annals of true crime history. In the early 1900s, New Orleans was a city filled with vibrant culture, jazz music, and a thriving nightlife. However, amidst this lively backdrop emerged a terrifying figure who cast a dark shadow over the city, the infamous Axeman. Between 1918 and 1919, this unidentified assailant committed a series of gruesome attacks that left the city in a state of fear and chaos. The mystery of the Axeman began with a brutal assault on the family of Joseph Maggio, a local grocer. On the night of May 22, 1918, the Maggio home was invaded, and both Joseph and his wife were viciously harmed while they slept. The killer used an axe from their own shed, a detail that would become a chilling trademark of the Axeman. As the attacks continued, fear spread throughout New Orleans. Many families began to take precautions, sleeping with weapons by their bedsides and barricading their doors. The Axeman struck in the dead of night, targeting Italian-American families and leaving no clues behind. The police were baffled, unable to find any leads to identify the perpetrator. Each attack seemed to be more brutal than the last, escalating the city's panic. What added to the mystique of the Axeman was a letter sent to the local newspaper, claiming responsibility for the crimes. In this bizarre missive, the Axeman declared that he would spare anyone who played jazz music in their home on the night of March 19, 1919. The city responded with an impromptu jazz celebration, and musicians filled the streets, hoping to appease the mysterious figure. That night, no one was harmed, and for a brief moment, the city celebrated its resilience. However, the Axeman's reign of terror resumed shortly after, leading to more attacks and continued unrest. Despite the investigations and public outcry, the Axeman was never caught. Numerous suspects emerged, but none were definitively linked to the murders. Theories range from a disgruntled musician to a member of the Italian mafia. Some even speculated that the Axeman was a supernatural entity, reflecting the cultural beliefs of the time. The mystery deepened, and as the years passed, the Axeman faded into folklore, a haunting tale of a predator who lurked in the shadows of New Orleans, leaving behind a legacy of fear that still resonates today. To this day, the true identity of the Axeman remains one of America's most enduring unsolved mysteries, captivating the imagination of true crime enthusiasts and historians alike. In 1957, a haunting mystery gripped Philadelphia when the body of an unidentified child was discovered in a cardboard box in a remote area of Fox Chase. The boy, who appeared to be around 4 to 6 years old, had been placed in the box, and the circumstances surrounding his death were both tragic and perplexing. The child was found naked, with a distinctive head of light brown hair, and his face bore signs of trauma, leaving investigators and the public shocked. Authorities launched an extensive investigation, but the boy remained nameless, referred to as the boy in the box. Despite an intensive search for his identity, which included distributing photographs to local schools and posting notices in newspapers, no one came forward to claim him. The case gained significant media attention as the heartbreaking image of the child stirred emotions across the nation. His death prompted widespread speculation, and many theories arose regarding who he was and how he ended up in such a tragic fate. As police delved into the investigation, they explored numerous leads. They even arranged for a forensic artist to create a sketch of the boy in the hopes that someone would recognize him. Many children from the area were interviewed, and every possible angle was considered, but no solid leads emerged. The boy's haunting eyes seemed to beg for answers, yet time slipped away, and he remained a ghostly figure in the annals of crime history. Years passed, and the mystery lingered, casting a long shadow over Philadelphia. In 1998, a breakthrough occurred when a woman claimed that the child was her son, revealing a tragic story involving domestic abuse. Although this claim led to renewed interest in the case, DNA testing ultimately proved inconclusive, leaving the boy's true identity and the circumstances of his untimely death still shrouded in mystery. To this day, the boy in the box remains one of America's most enduring unsolved mysteries, a poignant reminder of the innocence lost and the desperate need for closure. The child, once nameless and forgotten, now serves as a symbol of the many victims of violence who never received justice. As we remember him, we hope that one day the truth about his life and the tragic events that led to his demise will finally be uncovered. As we've explored these chilling and unsolved mysteries, from the eerie tale of the Black Dahlia to the heartbreaking case of the boy in the box, it's clear that some questions may never find answers. These stories remind us of the shadows that linger in history, where truth and speculation intertwine. What do you think? Do you have your own theories or thoughts on these cases? We'd love to hear your perspective, so leave a comment below. And if you're intrigued by more mysteries like these, don't forget to subscribe and explore the other captivating stories we uncover on our channel.